here we are once again for the, I don't know, fifth time or sixth time.
Something like that, yeah.
So I know this is repetitive, but what is your title? What would you like me to put you down as? The CEO or the owner, founder, or you have multiple
CEO,
titles?
CEO and founder of Bangtown Productions and Recordings,
Okay,
Bangtown Productions and Recordings, and a founder of the nonprofit Bangtown Studio on the Go.
got it. Okay, so now we're going to rewind, and I know that this part is going to be repetitive, but if you could quickly like give me background. Where did you go to grade school, middle school, high school, and how did you get into music?
Well, I went to Walker. Well, first I went to Cook Elementary School, which is now shut down. Actually, all the schools I went to is shut down now. But Cook Elementary, I went there from kindergarten to part of second grade. And then the second grade, they suggested that my teacher made my first grade teacher made a recommendation that I go to Walker, which was a magnet school back in the day. And so I started getting bused to Walker in second grade, halfway through second grade. So I went to Walker, which is now closed, which was in the cultural center. I don't know. I keep forgetting that you are from this area, so you probably already know. I keep thinking you're
Well,
from
you
there.
give me as much information as you want.
But Walker was like the cultural center of school. You know, we would go to the library and the Sloan Museum. Everything was right there on that street. So we did that stuff weekly. And then I went to Whittier, and which still was part of the gifted program, like transferring from Walker to Whittier. And then I went to Northern High School. Now, how did I get into music? Well, music has always been around. Like my mother used to play a piano. So she would just she played by ear, and she would just go and sit down and play Green Onions and old, jazzy, funky stuff. And, of course, as a kid, you just bored, you just go and tinker. Just tinker, tinker, tinker. And it was always an instrument, an organ there, or a piano, or my grandmother had a piano at her house. So it was always like an instrument around. But I started, actually, what made me realize I had a gift was it was my mother again, because I took up trumpet for Walker. Walker brought in a band teacher every week. Her name was Mrs. Smith, and the instrument I chose was trumpet. And I would go back to we was over my grandmother's house, and I just started playing on the piano the stuff we learned on it was actually the Victors, Michigan. Dun, 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 dun. So I was able to go to the piano and just figure out the keys and play it. And my mom was like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "I just, I don't know, And she was like, "You got an ear. You got a musical ear. You could go and play what you hear." And I was like, "Oh," that was my aha moment. I was 9. So as time went on, I started getting more interested in music. And at my adolescent, at that 12-year-old stage where you start kind of changing, music was my thing. It was sports, and I always loved music and the time, and Prince, the time, that whole thing with the drum machines and how they made their stuff. And I wanted my own keyboard. So my dad went to Radio Shack. Radio Shack had synthesizers, a Moog synthesizer. He bought my first synthesizer when I was 12. And they always invested in it. And then once I got that, a couple of years later, he got a Korg DDD-1 synthesizer. And he also got me a drum machine. And then when I was 14, I got in my first band. That's what really got it going. Got in my first band, which we were called Yours Truly back then, and we did our first Wrote our first song. It was a bunch. We was 15, 14, 15, and we were writing our own stuff. But we would share instruments. And I don't know if you've heard of DJ Psycho or, well, he was in that band. And, so he was playing the guitar. I was playing the keyboards. But I would learn stuff from him. He would learn stuff from me, and we would just switch instruments. And that's how we all be. Like I was able to play drum. I could play drums, but I really learned how to play drums better. I could play bass. I could play guitar. I could pick up anything and play it. And that was what basically struck my interest in music. That part right there. Then And Ready for the World came out at that time, which was 1985. 1980. Well, it's actually 1986 when they came out. But it was in that same era, like when I was 15. Then Ready for the World was like this big, huge thing in the city, and we had to put a band together. We had to put a record out, Ready for the World. And Prince, you could tell Prince influenced them too. Prince was like a big thing back with the musicians. He was a big influence. That whole Prince thing. Okay.
So in a year or two, I'll contact you again. Natasha Gistfried suggested that I do a documentary film on Walker kids because she was like, there's such a huge group of talented musical children who grew up and did wonderful things, and it would be interesting to follow their stories. But anyway, so looking back, so your career, it's what, 35 years in
I'm 50. I just turned 50, so
oh, happy birthday.
June 8th. So how do you 14 minus 50 is 35? Yeah, 35 years.
Okay. All right, 35 years. And in that time, Pharlon, what are your favorite musical accomplishments?
Wow. I have to say my favorite accomplishment is what I do with kids now. And having a voice to be able to go and teach youth how to create, how to be creative, how to use their voice, how to, that's the biggest one because I have kids now, because I started this in 2007. So I got kids now that started with my program that are now producers or are now still artists that are putting out videos, or they're now videographers, but their first experience was going through my program. And that's my biggest thing, is just seeing how much of an influence that I've had with youth over this time span. And to think that I didn't plan on doing this. It just happened. It's like sometimes the universe makes you do things that it's hard for me to take credit for it. But I was like the vehicle for it. When I came into the Jackie King thing, I was like 2 years in. That was like the second year, and I still run into some of those kids that remember doing that, So yeah, that's probably my biggest thing musically, even though it's not like flashy worldwide, but that's my biggest thing.
So when I last interviewed you, you said that you have had probably 15,000 children who've been through your program. Is that correct?
Over the years, yeah. Between Grand Rapids and Lansing and Flint, Detroit, and we've been doing it consistently since 2000. 2006 was the first class, but we've been doing it consistently since. So added another 6-7 kids this summer with the the video and with the Zoom class, and Mark Taylor's at the Broom Center now doing classes. So there's, it's every year people have consistently partnered with us because, I guess they see it works. GISD, Kalamazoo Public Schools, Battle Creek, um, Grand Rapids, Kentwood for a while. Boys and Girls Club. We've worked with thousands of kids over there, and we do classes there Monday through Thursday since 2008. It's around that. It's somewhere around there. It's been a lot of kids. Yeah.
A lot of kids. So now we want to switch to the subject of the book, which is musical and mental flows. So what do you think of when you? Oh,
I got other musical moments that were.
I'm sorry. Go,
No,
go.
I'm not trying to. But that was the one biggest. That's the one thing. The one big. Without
Keep going.
having your record played on the radio the first time, that was incredible, awesome. We had a single in 1992 called "To Be Yours." Our group was called Four Deep at the time. Four Deep, Fodeep, and having that record come out, and then it was like a regional hit in Flint, Saginaw, Lansing, Detroit, and we actually, Ready for the World brought us on a couple of tour dates with them, and we opened for them in Lansing. That was our first arena, like the Lansing Civic Center or something, but Jodeci was there, and it was Ready for the World, Four Deep, and Jodeci. And Jodeci had just came out too, so they didn't even have a band at the time, but we came with the band and the DJs and the dance. We was like, we saw Jodeci maybe a year later, 6 months later, and they had the same. Anyway, not saying that Jodeci, but they totally changed their style after that show, because they didn't come with a band. They came with just a track date with music. But we had a band, Ready for the World had a band, so that was a big, that was a huge moment. Another moment, I won $1,000 writing a song, John Lennon songwriting contest. This is while I was driving a bus. It's like 1998. I thought that was pretty huge to be recognized by them as, that's about it. I got a lot more.
So who put on this John Lennon contest?
Huh?
Who put on the John Lennon contest?
Oh, that's a worldwide songwriting competition. It's every year. And, a lot of, I got to I was like third place, I got money. They sent me a check, in a plaque, not a plaque, but something like a frame, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't win, but out of they get like millions of entries, so yeah.
So you were like 0.001%.
Exactly.
So that's pretty sweet. Any others that you'd like to share? Any other
No,
accomplishments?
that's it.
Okay, so
If they come to me, I'll send you a message or something.
okay,
Yeah.
so flow. What do you think of when you hear that term?
Oh man, I want to go back one more time.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
go for it.
but I always wanted to run my own studio. So when it was my parents died in 1993, 1992, and I set up one of the bedrooms as a studio. So the moment that I realized, oh wow, like I don't have to go to work anywhere. I could just do this. I could actually just run a studio and not go to work for MTA, or even though I drove a bus on the side, but that was another moment that was like huge for me to realize that my studio was self-sustaining. I was self-employed. That's it. Okay, now let's go to the question.
So when was it? That was 1992, Pharlon?
Well, that was 1994 actually when I started opening. I always did studio sessions over the years in the basement, little $10 here, $12, but this is like, it became, Bangtown became Bangtown, and actually I got a DBA in 1996, but the name happened in like 94, 95, and it's when I started recording, a lot of people in the area, like Brady and his group, and Ira, and Dayton and Jake. When everybody started coming to my studio, I'm like, I would just sit back and be like, wow, I never told anybody, but I'm like, I've actually, arrived basically as a producer in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Breed, MC Breed came through a couple of times, and yeah, it was like that was huge because everybody didn't have a studio in their house back then. Mm-hmm. Just a couple of us. So anyway, go away. Next question. Right. I won't interrupt again. Okay.
What do you think of when you hear that term? Flow.
What's the term?
Flow.
Flow is basically how you ride the beat when you're rapping or when you're singing. Your cadence. Like you could have some music, and you could just rap straight ahead to it. But if you don't have, you could stay on beat, but not. You have to find you don't have to, but the flow is like, okay, you're putting your cadence. It's your cadence to the music. It's like you add being an instrument with your voice, like being a jazz musician and saying, okay, this is how my voice is going to fit in with this rhythm. That's a flow.
Could you give me an example using one of your songs or the songs of somebody who you've produced?
Can you pull up one of my songs?
Sure.
Go to Pharlon, like on it. Just pull up Pharlon Uncle Bang's Funk Collection. Just gonna give you a little quick example. You can listen to it over there. Pull up All Up in It.
Okay, so I am looking for Pharlon's.
Pharlon. Uncle Bang. Unkle.
Uncle Bang.
Funk Collection.
Funk Collection. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, I'm going to share my screen here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So this is what I'm getting. Pharlon's Uncle Bang Funktown Funk Collection. Am I on the, should I look at a different page or?
That's weird. Usually it pops right up. Just take Uncle Bang Funk Collection off. Just put Pharlon.
Pharlon.
Okay. So, yeah, Pharlon.
Sounds
it's probably on there too. Right there. Uncle Bang.
Oh, okay. I spelled uncle wrong. Okay.
Maybe you could hear it on there. Yeah. So is the audio on there?
Let me see. I don't see it on available on currently unavailable.
Let's go back and do you spell uncle with a K.
Okay, uncle. Here, I'm going to.
Because it's on Spotify, and it should just pop up.
Okay. Oops. Sorry. Uncle Bang. Okay. Spotify.
Spotify.
There we go.
Difference between a C and a K.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Cookie Pop.
All right.
Okay.
Go down, play All Up in It.
Oh. I'm sorry. I have to, where's my.
Oh, you're not signed? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, here. I have it up here. Uncle. Oh, there we go. All right. So All Up in It.
Yeah. Jumping on in the let's don't keep the wild. Right on, it's all up in it. So power. It's all up in it. I'm all up in it. Talking soul when I got that funk. Keep it in your reach. As a matter of fact, pause it. Did you hear what I just said?
No, I didn't. What
I said,
would you say?
I said, everybody talking to soul when I got that funk to go. Deeper than your roots can grow. This ain't that average Joe. Corporation radio flow. Flow.
Okay, so it's that rhythm or the finesse, the
What I was saying is basically, this is something I'm saying that my flow is not, I'm not gonna ride the beat like everybody else rides the beat. I'm gonna ride it like this. This is my flow.
okay, okay. All right.
And and if you listen to it, you probably never heard nobody flowing like that.
I may have. I've lived a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's been a little while. So, okay. So, how would you characterize that flow as compared to other people's flow? It's funky.
It's funky.
It's okay.
It's not. It's Pharlon's flow. Like I got my own thing. Like I've been doing this for a long time. So I've been through Parliament. I've been through Prince. I've been through Funkadelic. I've been through hip hop when it first came out. And that's all in there, some type of way, in my own way of doing it. And that's the key of being funky or being able to just come up with something unique without thinking about, okay, I'm gonna make a flow like this, or I'm gonna do it like this person does it. Whatever comes through me, it just comes. Like the music. I made the music, the background. I did all the background. I played all the instruments on that, but each layer of it is like, it wasn't nothing planned. It was like that's where that's where the flow took me. You know.
So it's playing like an instrument. It's not,
Exactly.
yeah, it's not interrupting any of the other instruments, but it's it's like your trumpet. It's on its own layer.
Right.
So would you say that holds true for rap artists as well in their flow?
Yeah. Yes. Some people got it better than. I mean, not saying I can't say better. That was something I had to overcome uh, in running a studio, is overcoming my own musical thing, and have to let people do their own thing, whether it's not in my pocket or my zone, what I think it should be, and allow people to be artists. It's an art. It's art. So your flow, even though it may be redundant or maybe just seem like basic, some people want to hear that, and they're gonna, I can't judge. You can't judge. So I ran across all kind of, but yeah, I get on the soapbox, okay? So, but yeah, I think it's the same thing with rap. Yeah.
So you were about to say you ran up against different kinds of flows. Can you talk about the different kinds of flows that you produced? Or that's a lot.
I mean, there's several, there's so many. It's not really like, okay, put it like this. Ira has his flow. Ira when you hear him, that's the way he generally goes at it. Beat Brady, he has his own flow, but his is more hip. It's a different type of hip, more so the East Coast, more so hip hop oriented. And I hate to put names to stuff because, like, you asked me to give me the top 10, I'm like, oh man. It's like I don't want to pit nobody against anybody, but I work with a lot of people. But like the guy on my if you go back to All Up in It, there's a second verse on there. It's not me. His name is Deuce. Deuce is like incredible to me. But I used to record his group years ago.
So is it after?
It's on All Up in It, but it's the second verse.
Take it back?
No, it's the next verse coming up. So
oh, shoot. Okay. Hang on.
I just want you to hear like his flow. You can move it up. Right here.
So his is more rapid fire. Is that?
Yeah, but his voice, he has a voice. Is you know, that's his flow. That's Deuce. And if you hear Deuce on another song, you're gonna remember that voice. He has that. That's him. That's his. Well, that's his style on that song. But I got other recordings where that's the way he flowed on that song. That's the way the energy that song took him to. But still, it was in Deuce's the way that was the way that the music touched him, and he flowed to that beat. But if I could play another song by Deuce, and he's making sure that he's not doing rapping it like that, but it's still his voice and his cadence has switched. It's like an instrument. How are you going to play your vocal instrument to this music or to this beat?
So would you say that his flow is a little bit higher in terms of notes? I felt like it was a little higher. No, it's not.
No, flow is just the way you ride the beat. That's all it is. It's
okay.
It's the way you ride. It's the way you are going to sing to that beat. Your pattern, your cadence to that music.
Cadence. Okay. All right. So each artist has their individual flow, but would you say that Flint had its own flow, like the Flint music scene, the Flint rap scene had its own flow?
I would say that sort of. Yeah, sort of, kind of. Yeah, we had our own. Like I could hear the influences though because I grew up in it. Like I could tell when I heard a rapper rapping and their flow was sort of like Scarface. Like, oh, he's rapping like Scarface, or he's rapping like LL Cool J, or he's rapping like Run DMC. That's from working in the studio and working with different artists. I could hear the influence. Now MC Breed, he had his own thing. He was fun. I'll put it like this. He had the funk like I had the funk. And funk is another thing. Funk is like, okay, his cadence isn't going to be just the same every time. It's going to switch up, pertaining to what the beat is doing. He has it. So, that's why I give Breed a lot of credit. He had that thing. He had that thing. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
So did Flint have its own sound?
They sort of did. Like the majority of rappers did rap a certain way. It was kind of like a mixture between Tupac and Scarface, sort of like mixed. But at the same time, I would say a little sprinkled with a little bit of old LL and some old Run DMC, but it was like a a mixture of different things, but which created its own style. Like I don't want to put, for instance, like Dayton Ave. I heard a lot of that stuff in there, but their sound with their music, with their producer, with the way they rap, created their own sound. Matter of fact, I think that sound was influential on a lot of the Southern rapper stuff, like Master P, and because the Southern movement hadn't really took off yet, but Top Authority, and they were very influential, I think, in other regions.
So when you were talking about LL Cool J and Run DMC, was that the Flint rap sound in the 90s, would you say?
No, but you could hear elements of it because this is what everybody grew up listening to.
Was that more the 80s? I'm just trying to figure
Yeah,
out like the
but see, you see, LL and like for me, Public Enemy was a big influence as well. But like in the 85, 86, 87, 88, this is what everybody was listening to, learning how to rap. You know, this is who they learned. This is who they were learning from. So they're influential, I think, with a lot of people in general. Period. Especially for those that came up in the early 90s, 92, 93. Of course, they were listening to that stuff, and of course, it influenced them some type of way. You know.
So how has the flow changed through the decades in the 2000s, 2010s, and today?
Hmm. that's a that's a deep question, kind of. It has. Well, it's I hate to pit because I'm old school now, so it's like when I listen to the younger stuff, um, it's just different now. It's not as, and I don't want to diss it, but it's not as creative. It seem like. I mean, it sounds great, but a lot of it sounds alike. So there's not too much of and I guess that happened in my years too, but it didn't happen as much. Like people talk about the same stuff, same flow. You get a couple of little bright spots. Are you talking about just in Flint?
Just
Just in Flint. See, I haven't been a big part of that scene lately because I just teach. I work with youth. But I know there's a couple of artists out there that are like awesome, like Twice. His name is Twicey, Twice. His dad used to dance in our group, but he's awesome. He's very versatile with what he does. He sings, he raps. There's a couple more guys. I just seen a video the other day that I thought it was so awesome. But some young guys. And where is my Facebook? You can still see me, right? Yeah, of course you can.
Yep.
What's the name of this group? I just posted it on my Bangtown 606 Gray Street page. And I'm always have a hard time maneuvering around Facebook. They keep changing it. Okay. Here it is. Yeah, this group is Jeff Ski, and Veli Beretta, and Twice. I was very impressed with this video. But if this is the direction that Flint rappers are going in, I'm all with it. And I just think they put a lot of time into it, and they actually put some effort into this video. I'm gonna try to send it. Can I send it to you some type of? Where's the chat? I'm gonna put it over here. Is that it? Did it show up?
Yep, I got it. Let's see.
And see, this video has
Okay.
like two or three of the younger guys, like the guy I was talking
All
about.
right. I am going to save this, send it to myself in case I forget. Okay. All right. I will check them out.
And maybe Duke Talley. Uh, that's the guy that was in my class. Let me, if I could find the video first, that kind of sets you up for it. I know you got more questions too.
Yeah. So if you could, so when did that change? When did the Flint rap sound start going, I guess, a different way? And when did it stop being creative, I guess?
Oh man, I can't really say it stopped being creative. I think that the height of the Flint rap, it was between 1995 to 2000, 2001. It was a lot of groups coming out. It was a lot of rappers that was coming out at that time. A lot of brilliant rappers. I worked with a couple of guys that were just so incredible. MC Bree's cousin, he's he's passed away now. Not his cousin, but the group he was in called 211. They were modern day mobsters. Of course, I'm naming the people I work with, but Reddy Ace and Deuce, who I just mentioned, the Artful Dodgers. It's a list. It's a list of MC Breed. He was putting out a lot of great stuff at that time. Yeah, that era right there was like and was like and it never did actually stop. Quite as I think I just got older and stopped. Like I shut my studio down in 2003 and got married. So I just kind of stopped being part of that scene a little bit. I would do sessions here and there, but yeah, the scene I don't think it ever did stop.
So, Farland, would you say that these artists, 211, MC Breed, modern day monsters, Ready Ace, Artful Dodgers,
Mobsters.
mobsters,
Yeah.
are they part of your like top 10 favorite rappers out of Flint?
Um,
Or are you going to be able to send me a list later?
I could send you
Okay.
I could kind of send you I have to think about it because I want to think about the I don't want to it's older and then there's younger kids. There's like Cliff Mack, for instance. He was in one of my classes. He is like doing very good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, yeah, I don't want to just. I have to think about it.
Okay. All
I have.
right.
I definitely have to think about it.
Okay.
Um,
So, Furlan, could you take me through? I want to go. I want to now touch on mental flow. Like how does the creative process begin for you?
Mental flow.
Yeah. So how do you go about putting together a song? Does it come to you in a moment, or how does it happen? Do you have to think about it, or um, do you start writing words down, or do you start with a beat, or how does it all begin?
It varies. It varies. I'm sorry. I'm typing. I can't walk and talk and two going at the same time. Uh, but it varies. Like um, for instance, I might say I want to make a beat, and I don't have no idea. I don't have no idea. Nothing has came to me, so I just go downstairs and just play around, just play, mess around with stuff, and like, oh, that sounded pretty good, and run with that. But then there's times where I'm just sitting here and something hits me like boom, boom, boom. Like, oh, what is that? Like, I gotta go play. I gotta go play it. If I don't play it right now, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna dissipate in the universe. So usually that's the best ones, is the stuff that just pops out the clear blue into my head. Uh, and you know, as far as lyrics and stuff, you know, a lot of times I'm riding in the car, and it just hits me, you know. Um, when I try to force it, a lot of times, sometimes it doesn't come out the way I want it to come out. I like to generally just let it come to me. But I do, like with kids, for instance, I have to be spot on. I have to constantly like just throw ideas out there. Ask the question one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so mental flow um, is, I'm treating it as different from musical flow. So mental flow occurs when you're like in the zone, where you feel like at your highest peak of creativity, and where things are just jamming, when things are just coming. So I want to kind of investigate, ask rap artists and producers, like how do you get into that? When does it feel like you're mentally like at capacity and things are just flowing?
I mean, that's exactly it. Like for instance, that All Up in It song. That was a go listen to go, and everything on that CD is generally me getting into something that mental zone and flow, to where it all just kind of locked in. Everything on that CD. Um, so the, generally the stuff that's not on that CD, I got a bunch of stuff that's like you'll never hear, because it didn't flow. It never did gel. It was just like I was just throwing stuff at the wall and letting it see if it'll stick. And yeah, I still got a lot of those recordings. Like, what was I thinking? But but the stuff that, you know, that's how you find that, though. Is, you know, you make a lot of crazy stuff, and I've done a lot of experimentations with my voice, just trying stuff, and that's how you find that mental flow, I guess, is experimenting and trying different things. But at the same time, you know, when that's it right there. You know, you hear the music and it just comes to you, and yeah, that's I guess the mental flow you're talking about. I call it catching the funk and feeling the funk. That's that funk. Like, okay, I'm locked in. I'm feeling it right here in my soul. I got it. You know.
I love that. That's great, Pharlon, because it's a very descriptive way from your your perspective on what that's like, because it's different for everybody, like
Yeah.
in different professions. Um, so when do you? Here are some like miscellaneous questions. When do you know a song is done?
Oh man, that's a hard question. I still got songs that I think are great songs. I never finished them.
Hmm.
Never finished them. Got like a chorus. I got a verse. I got a chorus back on. Then the second verse, I kind of just got lost in the second verse and never did get back to it. But it's a great song. If I just finish the song, like All Up in It, for instance, that was easy. That was just easier to put. Once I got Deuce on the second verse, I knew I wasn't writing another verse. so, so I was able to just go into a change and break it down a couple of little spots, and I was done. Uh, and if you look at most of the work if you go back to Uncle Bane's Funk Collection, I'm not a big, huge, long song lyric writer. I'm gonna hit you with some lyrics, chorus, I'm a jam out. I'm a I'm a jam some music,
Okay.
and you know, that's kind of how kind of the stuff I grew up on. Also, like Parliament was kind of like a jam. They jammed out. Uh, they'd give you a couple verses, but a lot of it was there showing you how funky they could get their music. Um, or just, you know, that's kind of more of the person I am. So, uh, yeah, I'm damn. What was your question one more time? I know that's gonna.
Yeah, yeah. When you know that a song is done, like you feel like it's ready to,
Um,
for listeners.
you just know. It's like once you rolled that flow out and it just is you're just done. I mean, you just know it's when the song is over. You don't want to just keep on doing stuff just because for the sake of you know, making like some of my songs are like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Um, but you know, you got some stuff that may be 5 minutes. Um, but usually that's too long now. Uh, it's so funny because years ago, um, say Prince, for example, 1999 album, he had maybe six. It was a double album, but it was only like 10 songs, and maybe 5 of the songs were probably like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. You know, they don't make songs long like that anymore. It's like it has to be three to 4 minutes. It's like the radio station. You got to curtail to what they want on the radio. So I don't. It's just like as long as you have to just think it's over. You can't really just say. I mean, you know when it's not done too, because the songs I got that's not done, I know they're not done. But the songs I finished, I know that they were done. You know, that's the best way I could put that. I don't. You have to call the shot on that.
So, Pharlon, how many songs have you done personally, and how many songs have you produced for others?
Wow. Wow, Jerry, that's a lot of songs. It's a lot of songs.
Yeah, I bet.
Um, um, thousands,
Thousands.
thousands. Just with the kids alone is I can't even I got catalogs of music. I could play music for maybe 40, maybe 60 hours straight of stuff that, you know, without repeating. I got a lot of music. And before the schools, I worked on so many albums and stuff. Thousands. I can't really put a number on it. It's a lot of songs.
And and for some reason you've determined that what percentage is done? Like how much do you have still out there that you that you could still work on?
I got for as far as me personally, I probably got about 50 songs.
50 songs. Do you think you'll go back to them?
Well, there's some songs because I have like that's Uncle Bane's Funk collection. I got another collection I've never put out that's ready, that's done. The songs that's kind of done. Then I got like newer stuff that I've done that's like where I'm at right now. Um, can I give you an example of that too, or you got time?
So
I'll send it to you. I'll
yeah,
send it.
send it to me, and then Farlan, my last question is where you just said where I'm at right now. So where are you at right now in terms of musically?
I'm you. If I was, I'm gonna send you that link.
Okay.
You're trying to see. It's like I'm not where I was. Like if you listen to Uncle Bane's Funk collection, that's songs that were compiled between 1995 and 2004. So a lot of the stuff, 1994 to 2004. So a lot of the stuff I was 24, 25. I was younger. I would say some different stuff. My whole approach is just, I'm just older, I'm more, I'm still funky, but I'm more like, laid back, I guess. And say if I was to do a show one day ever, I wouldn't have to get up and do all that funky stuff and dance around and stuff. I could just kind of chill out, and you'll more so listen to what I'm saying. It's I can't say it's more vocal, but it's more. For example, one of the songs my senior is called "Forward,"
Okay.
and it's about just moving forward, your life forward, not looking back on the bad stuff, just going forward. Regardless of the setbacks you have in your life and the bad things that may happen, you got to rise above it and keep moving forward. See, I'm more like that now versus all up in it,
Is
or I
it a
gotta,
ballad?
huh?
Is it a ballad, or I mean, is it, or is it
I'm
more?
just, I'm gonna send.
Okay.
Should I send it right here, or should I just send it in Facebook, or?
You can send it right here if you have an opportunity. It's on Spotify or.
No, no, it's not on Spotify. It's on Reverb
Oh, okay.
Nation.
Oh, got it.
Um, let me. I'll pull it up real quick. I'm so behind on this stuff. View profile. Okay. Here we go. I'm not trying to play it. I'm just trying to share it. I'm so bad. Like I'm not. Back in the day, I used to be so good with internet. Like, in the what do you call it, AOL days?
Oh my God. Yeah, I know what you mean. My kids can just go boom, 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 boom. I'm like, how did you do that? What'd you do?
Like what? Why is this different now? Okay, this is taking too long. But yeah, here we go. It's right here. Share song. Here's a direct link. Command copy. But and this song I made in 2011, 2012. So it's still not really new, but nobody's heard it. So it's like you say, was it a ballad? I say it's not really a ballad. It's like I don't know. It's that soul that just came out of me and out. So
It flowed.
exactly.
Well, I look forward to listening to it. And Farlan, you know me, I'm going to probably get a hold of you in a few weeks or a few months to ask you some follow-up questions as I
Yeah,
transcribe.
that's fine. Please do that because I still feel like you know, you get on here and then I can't think straight. I get nervous a little bit, but I definitely I'm gonna probably give you some some of the names of the rappers that I think was influential in the area and top 10, all of that stuff. I'll get back with you on that.
All right, can't wait to see your list of favorite rappers. Also, Farlan, if you could sign that release form from Wayne State University.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I'll do
send
that.
that to me. That would be cool. All right, Pharlon, thank you so much for
So
your time.
I got one more question. So the book, you bringing out the book.
Yep. So the book, right now I'm just gathering interviews. Right now it still is only like 6,000 words, and it has to get to like 50,000 words.
Wow.
So that's going to be my book, is interviewing people from Flint, and that's part of the reason why I want the top 10 list is because I want to have that be one of the chapters, but I also want to see if I'm missing anybody, people who I should talk to, and yeah, so you're really informing me on that research. But books take just as long or even longer than films. So the book hopefully will be done by the end of the year, but won't be out until like 2022.
Okay.
That's how long it takes. So it's gonna be a while.
And how about the film that you just worked on?
Okay,
How
so the film, oh my gosh, the film was going to screen at the Detroit Free Presses Film Festival in April.
that got
But
shut down? Yeah.
shut down, and so they've like surveyed all the filmmakers, and they're going to make a decision in August as to whether we're going to have the screening online or we're going to have it in person. So I don't know. There's just there's so much going on. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it in a movie theater. But it would be great if we could do that. But I'm thinking it's going to be a combination of like maybe online and a small group to view it. But I'll be in touch. They're thinking December.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do
I
you?
don't, I have no idea. It's just too it's I'm learning as we go. So
I
I'm
know.
gonna let you handle that though. But
Okay.
good talking to you.
Okay. See you. Thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy, Jerry.